Hello everyone and welcome. Now today's card is a request from a viewer, and we are going to be working with the Mary Bear, which is the CLD, which is the exclusive bonus for the crate of July 2026, and it's just got this cute little bear. There are 7 cutting dies. We've got the bear and a little bow. And my viewer actually asked in the comment section if the bear's head might fit on the Cozy Toes slippers and would it work. And I said, I don't know. When I get home, I'll give it a try. So I am back home, and I thought I would just give it a try and see if it'll work out. So we've got the little bear that is part of the All Clubs crate, and it is the add-on. And we're going to bring in the Cozy Toe slippers, which is an oldie but a goodie. It's had actually 2 releases. It had the original, which is what we're going to work with here, and then it had some different heads that you could add onto the slippers. And then we're just going to take it a bit further and use this little bear head for our slipper decorations. So I have zoomed in because we're going to be working with some little tiny bits here, and I want you to be able to see. This is the little snout of the bear. I've used a little lighter craft cardstock, and I put just a little scrap of pink inside of it to make the nose look pink. It's going to match the cheeks and the ears that I've die cut out. I've actually used, I think, Bellini for the color on that. And we've got that laid down on there. And then I'm just going to put the tiniest little dab of glue on both the little indentations where the cheeks go. Just tried to get a smidgen so that hopefully I would not be making too much of a mess. And then I'm going to bring in my handy crafty tools from Spellbinders, the wax tip, and I'll lay those little cheeks down on the little bear's face. And the bear is only 7 cutting dies, and we're not using, a lot of them because we're not doing the body, the arms, and that. So it's going to come together pretty quickly. And so we have the little ears here, and we'll need to add those to the head. But the ears have a little inside color, and I've used the Bellini for that, and I'm going to get both of those laid down on here, and there's nice detail that shows you where to lay them. I'm just going to get them laid down on here, and then we'll get the little ears on our bear's head. Now I will tell you that the other animals that they have given you for the slippers are a bit larger, and they do cover up a little bit more of the slipper, but I think these work. I think these look really cute, and it certainly is another option for this die set. So I'm cleaning up the glue that seeped out of my little bear's ears and off my glass mat, and then we're going to get these ears attached to our little bear's head. This is going to come together really quickly because I did all my die cutting off camera, and I've already assembled one of my legs with my slippers, and so we're just going to do this one, and then we'll bring that other one in, and it'll make for a very fast video. So just giving a little press. I got my little ears where I want them, and I think it's a cute little bear's face. And this is the Mary Bear. I think I mentioned that. I'll link all the materials in the description box below so you can check them out. I'm going to get a little glue laid down on her. The bear came with a bow, and the bow actually had ribbons on it so that it could kind of hang underneath the chin of the bear on the body of the bear. But since we're not bringing that in, I'm putting a little bow on our bear's head. And I'm also going to use the little knot piece, and I'll add it, but I'm not going to use the ribbon that hangs down from the bow. I did die cut out because it's all in one piece, and it die cut it out. It's laying there in my tray. And then we're going to get to assembling the slipper. So I've chosen blue for my slipper, and I've got the base, the biggest part of the slipper there. And we're going to get the other pieces and get them attached. So I was looking for my tweezers and my foam, and I'm just bringing a square foam in here, and I'm going to get my little head laid down on the toe of my slipper. And you'll see that, we do have some room around there, but I think it works. I think you can get away with this. So I'll give that a little press. And then I decided my pajama pants have got a hot pink in them. And so I decided to bring this hot pink in for the toe of the slipper as well as the bow that is in my bear's hair. And I'm just going to get this laid down on there. It just brings in a little bit of that hot pink. And then I've got some chiffon, I think, that I'm using for my skin tone. And I'm just going to get it laid inside my slipper. So this is the leg, my little leg. And I'm going to clean up any glue that's seeping out there and get any die cut hairs. And then this is the back of the slipper so that it looks like the legs are actually inside the slipper, and this is the back of the slipper. So I'll get it lined up on there and give it a press. And there we go. We've got our little leg and our little slipper. And we're going to bring in, since we're doing Christmas in July, I brought in some Christmas tree pajamas. And it was directional, and I'll tell you, the first time I die cut the leg out, I had it in the wrong direction, so I had to die cut it out again. My trees were upside down, unless I wanted some wide leg pajamas at the bottom. So I've got my two legs there, and we're going to bring in our panel. I'm going to use the embossing folder of the month, and we're going to use just a white panel, and I've cut it down to 3 3/4 by 5. And I'm going to get my legs laid down on here. Now, I knew that they were longer than this panel, but I'm going to cut it off. So we'll get them positioned on here how I want. You can see I've got double-sided patterned paper on there. This particular pattern paper is from the Cat Scrappiness shop. It's a Christmas pack. And we'll get our little leg laid down on there. Then we just need to get our next one. And I'm going to put the two legs together and just let the little toes of the slippers touch each other. And I had a little glue worm on there. I had to pull it off. And then we'll get some more glue laid down on there. I'd not heard of that glue worm term until my friend Jana had said it. And then it kind of stuck with me. But that's what that was. It was a little glue worm. So I'm going to give it a press and get them laid down on there, trying to get them on there good, and then just flip it over, and I'm just going to cut that extra off. And I'm just going to use my scissors for that. I could have brought in my paper trimmer, but I love the Tim Holtz scissors. You can cut a good straight line, and it's pretty easy. Picking those up and throwing those in the trash. Just giving everything a good press. And we're going to bring in our card base, and we're going to bring some more of that blue in that coordinates with our slippers, and we'll lay it down on our side folding card. This is going to be pretty simple. It's just going to be our slippers with our bear, and I'm going to bring in the sentiment that was included with the Cozy Toe slippers, and we'll use it. So we'll get this panel laid down on our card base. And then we can add our focal panel. It lined up nice. My card base was cut nice. Everything come together. And we're going to have a nice little frame around here because we've got a 3 3/4 by 5 panel. So we'll have a nice little frame around there. We'll get it glued up and get it laid down on here. So I hope my subscriber that asked the question is watching so that they might see that this is a possibility. And I always appreciate the ideas and the thoughts that you want me to try out. I'm willing to try stuff out so that I can be responsive, and it gives me some ideas of some different things that I might not have thought of to work with, so I appreciate that. So I'm going to give this a little press, and you can see that it works out. Now this is the sentiment that was included in the Cozy Toe slipper set. It says warm and cozy wishes, and I just brought that same blue in. I'm going to bring some foam in, and we'll pop this up and get it laid down on our card. And we're going to keep it real simple. I'm not going to add any embellishments. I think our pajamas have got quite a bit of flair to them, and so we'll just let it be like that. We don't need to add anything else to it. We've got that 3D embossed panel that gives us great texture, and then we've got our little bears. So I'm just going to bring the warm and cozy in. I'm just going to kind of take it across our pajama bottoms and just give it a good press. And I think it turned out really cute. And if you like, I'd like for you to hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, I would love to have you subscribe. So I've taken a quick picture so you can see a close-up of it. And I really appreciate you watching. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great day.